Last time on the Minus 20 podcast, the Axes make Jakobsens' cake an example for not paying protection. They set the bakery on fire while physically assaulting Joald Jakobsen. Our heroes come to the rescue and destroy the Axe Enforcers and save the Jakobsens along with their life savings.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Minus 20 podcast. I'm Jay, I'm your game master, I'm running the game, etc. Who's with me?
I'm Holly, I play Serafina.
Hi, I'm John, I play Marth.
James, Bo Poncho.
Nate, playing Shepherd.
Diana, playing Kira.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I don't know, first combat last time, it went way different than I assumed it would. For sure, I thought you guys would struggle with that a little bit, but you did not.
I don't know, Pathfinder seems pretty easy, guys.
Pathfinder solved. You guys handed it to the Axes last session pretty good. They were beating up the baker, Joald Jakobsen, burning down his building. You guys kicked.
I didn't kick anything. I think I did 7 points damage total.
Right.
Every bit counts.
You did heal poor Kira, who was grievously wounded during that fight. Save for bacon.
I got you, girl.
Yeah, you beat down these axes. You saved the strongbacks for Joald Jakobsen. You did discover, unfortunately, at least Kira did, that one of the axes was a young man who gave her a music box way back in episode 1. And that was sad. But at the end of that session, let's again pop off where we were. Joald Jakobsen had called to all of you to follow him if you wanted to live the night. And he sort of hobbled off into the darkness. Did you guys follow?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So as you follow him, you see the crowds are gathering. Jakobsen pushes through some people. You hear a voice or two saying, "Wait, wasn't that Jakobsen?" And then you guys push, probably keeping hands above your face or whatever. And he leads you out to the marketplace and down a twisting alley or two. And then he comes to a, I don't know, like in the end of an alley, there's like a dead end and there's some trash and probably some containers there. And he goes over to the cobblestones and presses a stone and a little trapdoor pops up and there is a ladder going down. "Follow me!" And he sends his children and his wife down in front of him and then starts climbing down this ladder. And then as the last of you descends, he's waiting. He hops down and pulls the top down and comes to the bottom of this area. And it's pitch dark. And there's the sound of flint on steel and then a spark. And then he lights. Some of you have dark vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who among you has dark vision?
Marth most definitely does.
Okay. Marth, as you descend before Jakobsen comes down himself, you see you're in a sewer system. You're on a platform with, broken stone walls stretching off, reeks. There's some sewage going down the trough in the middle of this area. As he comes down, the rest of you see the sparks as he lights in tinder. He lights up the tinder and then lights a torch. You can see him in the flickering glow of this torchlight. "Well, I didn't expect them to flash out so strongly. Oh, look at all of you. Shep, Serafina." Perhaps at that name, a certain friend of ours, her ears perhaps may pick up.
Twitch a little bit.
Twitches a little bit. "Oh, and Marth, too. Well, looks like I've got you in a bit of trouble, haven't I? And look at this creature over here. I thank you, friend, for your help."
Not a problem.
Mr. Jakobsen, are you okay? Do you need any help? You look like you got hurt.
"I'm okay for now. We obviously can't rest here long, but if you have wounds to tend to, now's your chance." And at this point, you guys would have the ability to treat wounds. We actually rolled that off camera. We rolled it off tape. Thank God there's not a camera here. You guys would have this chance now to treat each other's wounds. You don't have too long, as Jakobsen would explain. Clearly, there are people running around trying to figure out who killed all those axes, and there's going to be retribution for that. As he explains to you, it's not safe for you to go out now. I've got a place here in the sewers where we can hide out pretty much indefinitely, but I'm going to need your help to access it. It's a long story. I can explain when we get there, but last time I tried to come down, there were some creatures in the sewer, and I didn't feel confident enough in my own abilities to drive them off, so I just wrote it off.
All right, you all, we just got to be sure. When you say creatures, you mean creatures, not more people. Because, we just killed 8 people, man. I don't think I can do that more tonight.
Joald puts his hand on your shoulder. Yeah, I understand. But if these are people, they're so far gone, it would be a mercy to put them down. But I think, can you hold it together for a bit longer?
Yeah, man, I'm here for you.
All right.
We're gonna do what we gotta do.
I just want to tell you that this part is much for you now as it is for me. I appreciate what you did back there, but you've put yourselves in grave danger. I'm out. I'm done. Thanks to this money you rescued, I've got enough. We're gonna go upriver. I got some family upriver, fallen timbers. They said they needed a baker in the town. I'm gonna set up there. My wife and I have been talking about it. I didn't expect to go out this way, but we're done. In the morning, we're gonna take a barge upriver and just leave Hammer City forever. But the rest of you, I know you're all, you, Shep, I can't see you just leaving because some axes. All those people you take care of, I can't see you leaving them behind. Or you, Marth, you've dug your roots here so far into this community. I don't even know if you could live outside Hammer City now. I don't think you'd be able to feed yourself, frankly. And Serafina, I mean, this is your home, and you're in danger, all of you. Even you, big green man who I've never seen before, and Fox Lady, thank you so much. But
Well, what about you? You are a pillar of this community. There are people that rely on you. A lot of people.
well, that time is done. It's something we were thinking about retiring, but this has forced our hand.
Sure that there won't be any reprisal from the Axis?
Oh, there'll be reprisal, but not on me. If I'm gone.
They're not going to go after the people that work with you, are they?
No, it was me who insulted them. You saw that. You were there, Shep, Marth. So you missed it, Seraphina. You missed the good show. But it was me who insulted them, me who yelled at them and refused to pay. The people who worked there, I'm sad about that. They're going to have to find new jobs, each and every one of them. At least they'll have their lives. Maybe someone can, rebuild on the spot. Marth, you know the community. Maybe you could find a baker. Maybe round up a little investment money, get them started.
I mean, I'll see what I can do. You're leaving a mighty big hole to fill, Joald.
Well, to be honest, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it all, Not just the Axis, but the poverty, the factories, the shifts one after another, the fact that gold runs everything in this city. I just want to get away. A little place in the country,
Speaking of gold, I'm sorry to interrupt. I did find some, and I feel it's only right to share. And I reach in my pocket and hold out, and there's 1 gold for each of us, and so I distribute it evenly.
Shep politely refuses, or would take the coin and give it to you all.
Same.
An investment for the previous payments they've extorted you from. Revenge is a powerful, powerful thing. And just because you find a boat to float away on doesn't mean that This won't be taken more than just a slight against the axes. Use it to look out for you and yours. Start that new life.
I've got more than enough, Shep. You take it. You could do better with the money than I could. And he gives it back to you. I don't want to hear any arguments. And Esmeralda nods. We've got more than enough, Shep. We've got plenty. We've saved up. You rescued it from us. Take this gold.
Shep looks visibly uncomfortable seeing the flame from the torchlight flickering off a piece of gold. He hasn't touched gold in a long, long time.
Well, have you had a good rest? We can't stay here. I've got a comfortable place ahead. I'll explain to you when we reach it. You won't believe it unless you see it.
All right, let's do this. We can't stay here much longer.
No, I have to be back. Oh, I just have to be back. So let's hurry.
By the way, hi, I'm Marth.
Pen.
Pen?
Yes.
All right.
Short for Penelope, but I prefer Pen, please.
Okay. Thanks for helping, Pen. You didn't have to get in this fight. And yet you did. That means a lot.
You're welcome.
And you too, Big Green. What's your name?
Thank you. I'm, just happy to help.
All right, happy to help. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm a little fried. Let's talk later. How about we go do whatever this thing is?
Look forward to learning a little bit more about you two.
Oh, I don't think we're going to
seen
hang out
you-
further than tonight.
Haven't seen either of you around.
Rude.
Quite a first impression you left there. But glad to have the both of you by my side, our side.
Appreciate it. I know we now have a common enemy.
I think I need to sit down. We better go with Mr. Jakobsen.
Yeah, how far do we have to go?
It's not too far. Maybe 20-minute walk. The last 5 or... Well, like I said, I feel much more comfortable if you, the way you fought, you handled those axes, all of you. I would love to have you go, clear the way for us if possible.
Shepherd girds his robe, keep it from dragging through the sewage, seeing that he may indeed have to tear at it again for bandages. Follows Joald's lead.
All right, so he's got the torch. He sort of hobbles down the sewage area, and you follow him. It's, again, another kind of twisting, it goes up corridors, down corridors. Make sure you remember this way. You're welcome to use this spot as much as you want after I'm gone. And so you make an effort to memorize or remember this way. After about 15 minutes or so, you come to a long corridor. I'm going to go ahead and activate the map here on Foundry. You find yourself in a long corridor in a sewer system. And he says, all right, up ahead, not very far, there's a couple of drains. And after the drain, there's a grate on the left. This is the area of the sewer that I thought I saw something. So if you could go up, just scout ahead to the grate to make sure nothing comes at us. Why don't we go ahead and, so currently we're technically in exploration mode. I'm going to ask you guys to let me know what you're going to do as you're exploring this area, because there may be some people who are brand new to Pathfinder, but there are technically 3 modes of play in Pathfinder. One is during combat, encounter mode. One is downtime mode, which are sort of long-term, like months or years where you can work on long-term projects. This is called exploration, where you're exploring an area and you're kind of doing particular activities. One is scouting, where you're on the lookout for any danger and you can get a bonus to everyone's initiative roll as an effect. Does anyone want to do the scouting, speaking of which?
I can.
Drop that on everyone's token then. Cool. And, Serafina, you want to get out of the water there, right? I'm going to put you on the bank of this river. Okay, cool. What does other people want to do?
So I would like to, a couple things, because they all kind of tie together. And I'm just trying to learn how to use an investigator.
Sure.
So I have a class feat called That's Odd. So entering an area, you would let me know if there's something that stands out as odd. what I'd mostly be looking for, Mr. Jakobsen mentioned creatures. So I'm trying to look for like footprints or signs of what kind of creature we might be heading towards would be the first one. And then I'd be using like a pursue a lead to follow that clue if I find one.
All right. So I'm going to say that's probably a search. So give me a secret perception check.
Okay.
So blind GM in your foundry. I'll say for that's odd. You see, as you're standing there listening to Jakobsen talk about this stretch of sewer system, you feel something underneath your toe, and you look down and you see a hard object. Looks like maybe like a vase or something was broken. It's a shard of it. When you pick it up and examine it, it doesn't look like any material you've seen before, and it has an odd purplish color.
Interesting.
One might say, that's odd.
Put it in my pocket.
All right. What do other people want to do?
Shep will search as well after he strikes his own torch.
Go ahead and give me a secret perception check. Holly, what would Seraphina like to do?
I think at this point she would probably is it a specific feat to cast like detect magic?
No, you
keep
can
that.
as long as you have that
Mhm.
in you can constantly keep it going.
Okay.
It slows down your movement speed like to half, but in this exploration mode, unless you're on a clock or something, we would just say you're moving cautiously through the area. Yeah, so you can detect magic, absolutely.
I think searching also halves my speed, so.
So yeah, you would all be moving together anyways. With that detect magic, you do detect magic as soon as you start casting it in the area within 30 feet.
Guys, I have kind of a weird feeling that there's something not quite right here. It's kind of a tingle. Does anybody else feel that?
That's unusual.
Could you be more specific?
Basically, you don't know you're using detect magic, right?
Not really. At this point, I don't really know.
Okay. In that case, yeah, and I don't think anyone else has that spell, do they? No. What's Bo up to?
He would look around and see if there's any like vine-like plants in the area to kind of just empathize with.
All right. Why don't you give me a nature check then? We'll call it investigate nature. This will be a secret nature check, so blind GM and Foundry. John, what is Marth up to?
So Marth and Arya both are going to try to stealth themselves into the shadows.
Okay.
And then Marth will project his senses into Arya as she goes forward on the scout.
Do you have Trap Finder?
I don't think I do.
Okay. In that case, just give me a stealth check. You're unless does your Eidolon get to do a separate exploration activity? Do you know?
I do not know.
All right. Well, let's just say since everyone else is already doing the search with perception, we'll just say that you guys are doing avoid notice. So go ahead and roll me a stealth check, a secret stealth check. That's fine. Cool. All right. So we've got our rolls here, and then yeah, you guys can go ahead. One problem is that Jakobsen has a torch. So if you all who don't have dark vision need to see in the dark, you're going to have to come up with some kind of lighting system. Do you guys need a torch? Do you have enough lights to go ahead?
I think I have a torch.
Laura, I struck one.
I have light, so I'm going to cast light.
All right. Yeah, that'd be great. Who are you going to cast on yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to drag that to your token.
Is that enough to cast light for, like, if I don't have a torch? Can I see now that she has light? There's 2 torches. I have low light vision.
There we go. Okay. So yeah, you cast light, and suddenly you emit this strong, clear white light. What was your question again, Diana? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I was just wondering, so Kira has low light vision. So do I have enough light from the 2 torches and her spell to see?
Yeah, so the way lighting works in Pathfinder is there are 2 kinds of light. There's light and there's dim light. So a torch, for example, casts 20 feet radius of bright light and then 10 feet of dim light. So if you have dim light, low light vision, what that means is you can treat low light like normal light. I think you remember the fight we had with the axes. Anyone who didn't have low light vision had to roll a concealment check. And so you wouldn't have to roll concealment checks when you're low light. The light that Seraphina has right now is the same as a torch, so it's 20-foot radius around you. So if you're within 20 feet of her, you can see normally. All right, I'll let you guys. We're just gonna hang back here a little bit till you get to the grate, then we'll move up with you. But yeah, just head down that dark sewage tunnel by yourselves. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm scooting, but I'm not going too far.
Yeah, lead the way.
Well, let me throw an Arya down here. I neglected
And lead
to put,
lead
there you
away.
go.
All right.
You want to get a marching order and then move the whole block?
Yeah, that's fine. How would you guys like to arrange yourselves? As you know, we can keep that as a placeholder for future
I'd like to be behind the
fighter.
fighter.
So is the large unnamed gunslinger?
Yeah, I'll go next to you, Shepard.
Sure, glad to help.
All right. Who's in the second row next to Kira? Someone has. I guess you can go in the third row. You can.
Seraphina will go next to Kira.
Okay. All right. Cool. So this is your order. We've got Big Greenie up front. Oh, I guess we're sending Arya up front.
Yeah, I was gonna have her do the scout up ahead, and I'm projecting my senses through her.
Okay.
Which I just looked it up, and Jess the Eidolon does do its own exploration
Oh, great.
activity
Okay.
and skill checks.
So give me a secret perception check for Arya.
Oh, okay.
That's a blind GM roll when it pops up in.
All right. So whatever that is, +3.
All right, so I guess the 5 of you would see this dim figure almost floating above the corridor ahead of you.
Was someone here scouting?
Yeah.
Yes. I think you all have scout on your tokens, except for Arya, who uses Marth's initiative. All right, go ahead and, if you want to move down the corridor. You hesitate, you freeze, your knees are weak. I don't know.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Shepard.
I mean, as I'm going along, I'm still searching. So
Yep.
hidden door things.
You were not searching. You are searching. I'm sorry. Yes, you would find hidden doors, that kind of thing. Arya sees a long corridor in front of them.
Do you want to just move the block of us, Jay?
Yeah,
So we
sure.
don't
I
mess
can.
up the marching order.
Yeah, it's already foobar. I'm
Harold.
going to pull Arya back a little bit here.
This is part of the fun of Pathfinder, the chaotic moving down the
That's
corridor.
right. Just let me know when you want to slow down. So you slowly go down this corridor. Arya sees, and John, you see through Arya as she comes up here. Not a large grate, but a small round opening, and feels like a brush of air on her cheek. Clearly some kind of vent system here.
There appears to be a vent system up ahead. Not anything too interesting going on in it, but just don't be surprised.
The fork in the road we just walked by. Nothing particularly ominous coming from that.
That's the vent.
Yeah, that is the vent. I'll say as you get in the middle of the vent, you hear some scrabbling inside of it.
Knew it.
And then, Marth, from behind you, as you pass the vent on one side, you see a rat come out. Then another and another. You see basically an entire rat swarm behind you. And then same in the one in front of you. You just see all these rats here.
I'm so glad that I am on both ends.
This giant rat king comes pouring out of it.
All right, so let's go ahead and roll for initiative. I'll roll for the rats. Those of you who were doing exploration activities other than searching will need to roll me, or can roll me, the attribute they were searching in. So Seraphina could roll Arcana if you prefer. And those of you sneaking or avoiding notice can roll Stealth for their initiative. Shep and who else was searching? Go ahead and roll Perception for your... and Bo Pancho, you can roll Nature if you want for your initiative.
23.
Well, right.
23, nice.
19 for Shepherd.
Nice. Up pretty high. You guys were clearly on alert. Seraphina, you roll something?
18.
All right.
23 for Bo Pancho.
Whoa.
Okay, nice.
Mine did a blind roll, so whatever you tell me it is.
It did a blind roll? You rolled a 19 for your initiative.
Aye.
All right, let's begin. Kira, you're up. You see these giant swarms of rats come out of the grates, both behind you and in front of you.
Oh no. I'm going to move up near Marth. And I'm going to... I'm not within melee range where I'm at, right? Correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to use a Foxfire attack.
Okay.
I'm using my fox magic to try to attack with my tail. And that's the 12 to hit.
That is a miss. The fire dashes among these rats, but you only hit one or two of them. The rest of them sort of clear a path out of the way.
I'm not loving that. My third action is going to be to draw my rapier.
All right. Go to our unnamed gunslinger, big green guy.
Yeah, he'll start by opening with a fire. So I'm going to shoot.
Which one are you shooting at?
I'll shoot at the one next to Arya.
Okay. It's technically in dim light, so I'll need you to roll. Oh, you have low light vision?
Yep, I have low light vision.
Okay, you're good then. What'd you roll?
That would be a crit, 29.
All right, that's
Natural
a natural
20.
20.
Woo!
Go ahead and roll.
Still got it, guys.
Go ahead and roll damage.
18 damage.
All right. That seemed to take quite a few less damage than you expected.
Rats.
These rats, it's like trying to kill a bunch of rats with one shot.
Yep.
You do manage to scare a bunch and kill a bunch, but most of them still are there.
And then I will run to that pile.
All right.
So I'll use my stride action. If you could help me move, I'm having some difficulties.
Sure.
Appreciate it. And then I will clear the path as part of my reload action and give him a big old shove.
Okay.
It's just a general shoving motion to this pile of rats.
Okay, that is a athletics check.
I roll a 12.
A 12 is enough. That is a success, a regular success. So it gets pushed back 5 feet. You have the option to keep pace with it if you want.
Yeah, I'll keep pace.
Okay, so you advance 5 feet.
Thank you.
All right, is that 3 actions?
That's my 3.
All right. It is the agile large animal's turn. It is its turn. It's going to move up and settle on both you and Arya. And for that, I'm going to need you, and all these rats sort of swarm over the two of you, biting and biting. I need both of you to roll me a basic reflex save, which I did post to the chat. If you want to use that.
Was that
28 for...
20 is a critical success. You don't take any damage.
Bobbing and weaving.
16 is a fail. You take full damage. So, Marth, you're in the back. You feel these bites all over you as the rat bites on Arya sort of manifest in your skin. These tiny wounds open up on your arms. You take 5 points of damage. That it gets to do that one more time because that was its second action. So, go ahead and make me that fortitude save a second time, please. Want me to post it a second time? I can do that. Hang on. All right. I need both of you to roll me a second fortitude save.
Fortitude this time?
Same. Yep.
Okay.
Reflex. I'm sorry. Did I say fortitude? I meant reflex. It's in the chat.
Yep.
14. Arya rolls a 14, which is a fail.
27 for
Marth takes
bow.
another 5. 27 is a critical success. Again, no damage
Awesome.
for our large green friend. Shep, you're up.
You're giving that damage to Marth, but shouldn't that be to Arya?
Well,
We
Arya.
share hit
Oh,
points.
sorry.
No, it's
I
good.
forgot that.
All right. Shep snaps into action. He's going to use sudden charge to move 25 feet. He's going to rush all the way over and into the swarm
Ooh, wow.
and make an attack as part of that sudden charge with a 14 to hit.
14
Looks like it
is
hits.
enough.
Then he will go ahead and roll his slashing damage for 9 slashing.
9 points. The creature takes very little of that I guess it's not a creature, it's a swarm. Your sword comes in and cuts a few rats, but it's largely unaffected.
And then with his remaining action, he's going to go ahead and use Snagging Strike. So I get to make an attack roll with my free hand, which I will use my free action to drop the torch is in my hand.
Yeah.
And distract it with my now open hand. Do my second attack here at map, which misses.
All right.
So
That's
is
great, because then I'll have to answer whether this creature's immune or not to the snagging strike. Guess we'll find that out later. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, and it's not a grapple or anything like that.
Okay.
It's merely just a distraction. It does say in the flavor text grappling moves, but there's no grapple check or anything like that. It's
Okay.
just me sticking my hand in its face for the most part.
All right. And that is your turn.
Yes, sir.
Marth, you are up.
Okay. So, Marth is going to start with a movement, and we're not going to get right on that thing, but we're going to get closer. And then Marth will cast a forbidding ward on Arya.
Okay. What does that do?
What that does is it gives her a +1 to AC. And then Arya will attempt to kick all the rats off of herself. Which, by the way, is she, grappled?
No,
Okay.
they're just swarming all over. So this is a swarm. It attacks by occupying the same space as you.
All right, does a 24 hit?
It does.
Hooray.
It looks like Forbidding Ward is on Seraphina.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that an Arya? Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll take it off. Okay, yes. How many
So-
points of damage?
4 of bludgeoning.
All right. It seems to have taken all of the bludgeoning damage. And Arya quickly smashes probably a dozen or so of these creatures, and the rest of the swarm dissipates. So it appears that this creature had resistance to other kinds of damage, but to bludgeoning, it has no resistance.
Very nice. Arya they might have some shadowy, not so nice gestures with her hands going on.
Just a reminder that recall knowledge can reveal these weaknesses and strengths to the party. So
Do you, excuse me, Jay, do you have to be trained in the skill?
to recall knowledge, you do, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
In this case, it would be nature or applicable lore. All right, we are up to the other creature. It's just going to sit on Shep
Aw.
and do 3 swarming bites on Shep. So we'll start with your first reflex save.
All part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. Critical success, you are fine.
25.
Ooh. All right, second one. Give me another reflex save.
Big guys can move.
Old guys can move. 24.
24, that is a regular success. So you'll take half of 3 damage. So you take 1 point of damage. All right, and give me that beautiful third reflex save. Again, another success. Again, you
19.
take half.
Pepper's got happy feet.
Another massive 1 point of damage. However, I'm going to need you to roll me a fortitude save.
Bound to fail something here. 13, there it is.
Oh, those are the worst. Something happened.
Hmm.
Something happened. You don't know what. Okay. Serafina, you are up.
Okay, having seen that the other swarm seemed to be vulnerable to bludgeoning, she's going to tighten her grip on the mace that she's been carrying. She's going to move over here and take a swing.
All right.
And
Uh,
that's a miss.
That is a miss. What was the roll?
9.
9 for a total of 12?
12, yeah.
Miss. One action left.
Okay, she will... Gosh. She'll try again at Matt, I guess. And another miss with an 8.
Yep. Alrighty, it brings us to the top of the order again. Kira, you're up.
Okay, my first action is I'm going to move next to Serafina and Shepherd, right next to it.
All right.
And I missed what you said about recall knowledge. It is shared knowledge when one of the party gleans that information.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you, we'll assume that you can shout out the information as a free action to the party. There's certain conditions in which talking to the party costs an action, usually with pointing out where someone invisible is. But in this case, you can just shout it out.
Okay. I don't have a bludgeoning attack anyway, so I was just curious. So I'm going to, for my second action, use devise a stratagem.
Okay.
And my third action, I'm going to try to poke one with my rapier.
All right, so I believe devise a stratagem is part of an attack, right?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I keep doing that wrong.
But you don't have to use it as an attack. So go ahead and make that roll. I think if you in Foundry just do apply effect, it'll make the roll. That's a nat 1.
So I'm not going to attack.
Okay.
I'm going to. I'd like to cast aid.
Okay. Aid is an action, not a spell.
Yep.
So basically, you expend an action now to use your reaction later to help somebody do something. What would you like to do?
So I am not very versed in options for aid, but I'd like to learn more.
Yeah.
So my goal would be to distract them or do something so that maybe Shepherd would have more of an advantage when attacking them.
Sure. Yeah. There's a couple of this because you're within melee range of this creature. I would allow you to make an attack roll against it as your aid. While you wouldn't actually strike it, it would, do the distraction.
Okay.
You could also attempt like a deception check or something like that if you wanted.
I think, well, because I used devise a stratagem, I think it would have to use this one that I just rolled, which was a nat 1.
Oh, not for
Not
for
aid?
aid because
Okay.
what happens is you use that as a reaction, not part of your turn.
Wonderful. Then yes, I would like to help attack as a reaction
Okay.
if I see Shepherd attacking it.
Okay, so you expend an action now to do the aid. So that's 3, right? So you moved up. Oh no, you still have 1 action
I
left.
still have 1.
Yep.
Um,
You want to do recall knowledge? You're trained in nature.
I have underworld lore. Would that count in the sewers?
I think underworld lore is for like.
Underworld.
That's amazing. I think it's for like criminal activity, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trained in nature, so I can't recall knowledge then, right?
Oh, that's correct. Yeah. Well,
And I don't want to move because then I can't distract. So,
try to intimidate. You can.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a intimidation check against its will DC. Especially as a fox, you should probably get some kind of bonus.
16.
16 is a success. These rats are actually frightened of you, fox
They
lady.
should be.
Of a
Yeah.
giant
They
fox?
should be.
Can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Bears or teeth.
That brings us to the gunslinger's turn. You're in the dark, it looks like.
Yeah, and this many people, I'd be reluctant to shoot across them. So I'll have him 2 actions, run over. Third action, I will. Am I able? So you have your torch out, right?
It's on the floor at my feet, yeah.
Okay. I will try to as it on the floor. I'm just gonna try to burn all these rats.
So you're gonna pick up the torch and strike them with the torch?
Yeah, just basically it's on the ground. I'm just gonna
Okay.
kind of sway it in front of them.
So how many actions did it take to come up to the?
2.
Okay, so it would take 1 action to grab the torch.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, then I will instead just charge my sword at them and do a clear the path.
All right.
That's my third.
So you're shoving.
Yep.
All right. Give me an athletics check.
You gonna do?
I'm gonna know the shove rule inside and out by the time this campaign is over. I can tell. It's one people rarely use,
11.
11 is actually, because it is frightened, is a success.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice.
So you move this creature 5 feet.
And I would like to position myself so that I could try to push them into the water, if possible.
Yeah, so you may want to.
Or would I have to be like one higher?
No, you can be right next to it. You can be right there. So that would be a reposition action if you want to look at that before your next turn.
Okay.
Cool. So we go to Shepherd.
All right. I first action will reach down and grab my torch and manipulate it. Realizing and learning that trying to cleave a form of wrath like this with a bladed weapon has been ineffective, will take the torch and with his second action make snagging strike.
All right, go ahead and roll that. So if you strike it, it is off guard too. Man, that's a good question. I'm going to have to, I don't know I'm sure you're right that it's not a grappling. I'm going to have to look this up after.
I'm
after the game
willing to
tonight.
let the internet correct me, but I did make my, I did do some research on this. There's a combat grab, which is what you're looking for if you're looking to.
Yeah,
open
no,
hand
there's
grab
definitely a
something, so-
grapple. Yeah.
So yeah,
It just seems, I don't know. It's one of those things where like it doesn't make sense that you could like a whole mass of rats where you could like trip them, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
Sweep your legs.
but
sweep
you
your
know by
legs.
the rules
John?
it may be allowable. We're just going to plow on. I think it's cool to, especially since early in the game you
Mhm.
want to flex and use these feats, and let's do it. So what you get?
critical hit with the torch.
All right, 25 is a critical hit. Go ahead and roll me damage. Critical damage. This is bludgeoning too, right?
Bludgeoning and fire,
All right.
which is a
Total-
whole pile of damage.
Of 16 points of damage, which ends up snuffing out the remnants of this swarm. And as you wait a few minutes, nothing else is coming. You probably sweep the rats off into the sewage. All right, you're free to move on if you want. Well,
Arya rushes over to Marth and is like holding on to the shoulders, and Marth is just like, "It's fine. I'm fine. No, I'm okay. Can we please just move on?"
I think probably enough time has passed where you could do another treat wounds if you wanted.
Any of you particularly injured?
Marth is looking pretty bad, right?
Yes.
Do we see Arya?
She just looks very, I don't know how to say it, shadow-esque.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ghastly's not nice.
That was a
was a fail.
14 on the treat wounds.
All right, so Martha is immune for 40 minutes or so.
Arya is right up in Seraphina's face. Like, if you could hear her, like, shouting at you, it's pretty clear she's unhappy.
Shepherd, seeing that he can't do anything to necessarily try to heal you with his medicine kit, and the outrage from your relatively incorporeal friend, pulls from his rucksack the lesser healing potion
Ooh.
that Seraphina had so generously gifted him and hands it to Marth.
Ooh, 11 points. That's pretty good.
That is good. I don't know why it defaults to that now.
To doing well. Maybe this is the new world
Shep,
order.
I appreciate that. That's really nice, but I don't need like anything. And again, like just the death stares from a floating ghost thing. It's like, okay, I guess I will.
Shep would pick up his sword from the ground. He would have, I forgot to mention it, but he would have had to drop it to open hand snagging strike with the torch.
Right. Yeah, so you wipe the rat blood off your sword.
Restrike the torch after having probably blown most of the flame out by bashing a swarm of rats.
All right, so the corridor looms ahead of you.
Keep
Onward?
going. Yes.
All right, you guys plow on. After a while,
The Jakobsens are pretty far back there, aren't they?
Yeah. you come to the grate that Jakobsen told you about right here. I think in Foundry it's invisible, but there is a wall essentially right here. And make some mark, wave your torch or whatever. He'll come up. Come on, man.
Well, he's back there away. I'm going to give him a
There we
minute.
go.
He's an
Yes.
old half-orc.
He's got to
That's
step
right.
over all the rat blood. And
So he and the other Jakobsens come sliding up to you. Well, rats, it's not exactly the kind of creature I was expecting. Are any of you trained in nature? I'd assume Bo Poncho is, yeah?
No.
Really?
I think I
Unless I rolled my character completely wrong.
Can't just assume all Leshies are trained in nature.
I mean, he calls mines by
that's
their
kind
first
of
name.
stereotype.
Come on. You would think someone like that would be trained in nature. Is Marth trained in nature?
He is not.
So no nature. I guess we could look on
the
the
party sheet.
party sheet.
No.
That's crazy. I'm going to.
Look,
Foundry
man,
has
we
a
all live
cool-
in Hammer City.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, this is the industrial district, right?
That's right. Yeah, your
Tree?
best
What's a
nature
tree?
is shepherd, who's untrained. Okay. Well then, no roll for you all. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. Bizarre. They're acting very strange. Here, let me here step aside. He comes over and here, watch what I do. And there's a brick, like 3 bricks from the bottom. He bends over and touches it, and the grate click slides open, and he says, "It's this way. Follow me." Yeah, go ahead and slide your tokens up there. We'll put you in order. We're gonna have to reverse everyone, anyways, as you're gonna go back in the other direction.
We
Here.
can't grab ours.
Yeah, can't move through the wall.
Oh, right. Let me.
They're so
Yes. There's a wall there. I removed it in the narrative, but not on the Foundry. Here we go. It should be gone now, so you can move your tokens up.
It won't let us click our tokens.
Yeah. Are we still in
Yeah.
combat?
Make sure.
Oh,
have
yes, you are
the-
still in combat. I'm ending the encounter. You guys are good. You should be able to move freely now. She's around somewhere. Okay. So, all right. So you are in this long corridor looking west. Strange, the rats weren't the creatures I was talking about, but anyhows, it's up here. It's at the end of this corridor. Let's go. And then I guess you guys want to follow closely
Mhm,
behind. All
mhm.
right.
The shepherd would make conversation and ask, "What creatures are you talking about? Not for the rats."
And then he stops and points to the north wall. You see 3 odd looking purple containers. If you didn't know better, you would say that these look like cocoons, but they're pretty big, probably 5 to 7 feet in length.
Can I pull out the piece of material I picked up from the floor earlier from the sewers and compare?
It does seem to be very similar, if not identical color to this.
Ugh, I drop it.
With your perception checks, those of you who are searching, with the exception of Arya, who seems to be sort of drifting around in circles, you notice that these cocoon things are moving. So I'll take a occultism check, or what kind of lore does anyone have? Like, what kind of? We have an underworld lore.
Boneyard.
What's that?
Boneyard.
No.
genealogy.
No.
Mercantile.
Nope.
That is
Underworld as well.
Very
Oh,
specific.
So I would take an occultism roll. Those who are trained in occultism, give
Public
me-
or private?
should be private. Marth, you have no idea what these things are. Very bizarre looking. Kira, same thing. You've never seen anything like this in your life.
I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Me either.
Jakobsen's like, I wonder if those are the creatures I was thinking of. And as he says that, one of them breaks open and a creature pops out that looks something like this. You want to describe that, Diana?
I don't even know how to. It almost looks like a body of a gargoyle / lion / panther looking thing. But then its head is like, its face is like a puma, but it's got tentacles coming off of it like hair. And it's blue.
As you guys are looking at it, it makes a low, otherworldly growl in its throat and prepares to pounce. And we'll end things right there.
Ooh.